Hello everybody, this is going to be a new test route that they've introduced for 2020 and it takes into account for the SatNav. And what happens is the examiner got in the car and he put the SatNav up and we followed the SatNav from the very start, and this is exactly where he went. Okay, so we're going to set off from here. We're on Vemons Road, and the SatNav then is going to guide us around the route. And if I've set it up properly, then it'll work. If I've not set it up properly, then it's not going to work, so we'll have to see here. It looks like it's working so far though. So we've turned from Vemons Road into Beaumont Road, and soon it will tell us to turn left.
Turn left. You will arrive at your destination at 15:48.
There you go. So it's told us to turn left, and we've turned left into Countess Road here now. Along.
At the end of the road, turn right. Then, at the end of the road, turn right.
Okay, hopefully you can hear that.
Turn right. Then, at the end of the road, turn right.
She does go on. She does go on, this SatNav lady, that must be said. I'm just going to turn the volume up on it so that you can hear it better. So we've come down to the end of Earl's Road. In a few moments she's going to ask us to turn right into Manacor Road. So we just let the traffic clear here, and moving forward slightly so we get a better view. And well, that looks, oh, I was going to say that looks like our space, but actually it's being filled in. So is the Morrison's man going to wait for us? No, that's fine. There we are. Okay, oh, it's very busy today, but the SatNav has asked us to turn right onto Manacor Road, so that's what we're doing here now. And in a moment it's all clear and we can carry on. Hopefully you can hear what the SatNav is going to say to us next. Let's just see.
Cross the roundabout, second exit.
So there you go, she's asked us to cross the roundabout, second exit. That's going to take us along the road here, or up and over the railway bridge. I think it's a railway bridge. Might be a canal. It's a canal, isn't it, actually? There you go. Up and over the canal. It's just quite busy at this time of the day, really. Now she isn't going to tell us to go straight ahead at this mini roundabout, because it's not on this next one has been built recently, so it's not on her system. Just got someone coming out of the side road there. So there's going to be long periods where, you know, the SatNav lady doesn't say anything to us at all. And what that means is we're just following the road ahead. And she's going to tell us about the next roundabout in a few seconds. So I will let her take over so you can hear what she says.
After 200 yards, cross the roundabout, second exit.
Okay, this SatNav, by the way, is exactly the same one as the one the examiners use. The same make and model, everything.
Cross the roundabout, second exit.
So we've come out of the busy area really, and we've come along this, and it's just a main road really that's coming out of Nuneaton. It's kids playing on electrical boxes. And what the examiner said to Manny was, I was sitting in the back of the test, by the way, just so as you understand. I was sitting in on the test, and Manny was driving the car in the driver's seat. I was sat behind him, and the examiner was next to him. The examiner kept saying things like, don't worry, she isn't going to speak to you for a few moments. It will just be when the junction comes up. So he was being quite helpful, which is nice, you know. And again, he said here, you know, she isn't going to tell you about this roundabout because it's not on the map, on the SatNav map, but it's just straight ahead, just follow the road. And so that's what he did. We seem to have come into a part where it's getting blocked up again. On the day of the test, it was we just came straight through here, so obviously we've come at the wrong time of day. But like I say, it was it's the 17th today of March in 2020. It was the Friday before that. I can't remember the date of it. 13th. It was the 13th, Friday the 13th. That's what it was. And you know, at this time we're in the grip of the corona virus, and Prime Minister has told everybody not to go to the pub and to restaurants and things, or has suggested we didn't do that. And so it's getting a little bit serious. Just to give you some kind of context of where we are and what it was. And for 2020, what they've done is they've looked at the test routes, and they've found a way along those routes to introduce the SatNav as one part of the independent driving. And also they've introduced another element, which is just follow the signs for somewhere. And you either get one or the other, you don't get both. So on this particular route, on that day, we had the SatNav. And what happens is the SatNav is preset. So the examiner doesn't get to fiddle about with it, just puts it on the dashboard, turns it on, and away you go. And this is exactly where it came to, where it took Manny on that day. So you'll hear the lady inside. I like to think there's a lady inside the SatNav. You'll hear the lady start to tell us where to go next in a few moments.
After 200 yards, turn left.
So there we are, we're turning left in 200 yards. Now on this
Turn
one,
left.
there. On this one we can move in a bit. I don't like to interrupt her. I always think it's a bit rude. And so we're coming down this road, and again what he said is she isn't going to speak to you for a little while, just follow the road ahead. That kind of thing. following this road down. This is Astley Road, by the way.
Arrive at your destination at 15:49.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so this is Astley Road, by the way, and it's quite a long road. And actually, this test route, the way that this SatNav took him on that day, is we went on this road for a long time. And if you watch the other videos of the test routes, you'll notice that these lanes, I think they call them the lanes around here, these lanes are on a lot of the test routes. So it's a good idea, really, to get down here and get around it here, just off the Astley Road, and then just, you know, get to know these roads quite a lot. We're actually coming into Astley now. And you'll see that the speed limit soon will change. So it's 50 at the moment. Already the van in front of us is slowing down. I think he's turning off somewhere. It's definitely indicating. It's saying there's a flood, but I don't think there is. It's not rained for a few days at the moment. Sunday was bad though. Yeah, he's just turning off, look. We'll let him go. Go on, mister. Go on, Mr. Shifter. There you go. I think we're safe to go round him, so that's fine. Okay, so the speed limit will change. It changes from 50 now as we come into Astley down to 30. We must make sure we're doing that speed, 30 or below. Just driving along, and we're going to go past this crossroads, and normally most of your instructors will get you to turn right up there into Nuneaton Lane, but actually this test route went further into the country. And so we came right along here. Again, the SatNav wasn't saying anything, examiner's not saying anything, man is manically you know, concentrating on his driving. I'm sitting in the back not being able to say anything, but I found it quite interesting that it came out this far, and I wasn't expecting it to, I must say, because it's a real divergence from the other test routes. Up to now we've been on test routes that were you know, installed last year, but now we've moved away from that, and it's just the SatNav that's taken us away. Seem to go on and on forever. The speed limit changes again now, back down to 40, so we must bear that in mind. Get back down to 4th gear, that will help us to stay at 40 or below. Still on Astley Lane, by the way. We've not turned off of that road. And what the SatNav seems to have turned itself off just now, but it said we'll take the next right, and it's just here. And this is Arley Lane. Again, quite a little busy time of the day, really. Taking us all the way along here. And again, Arley Lane is quite a busy road. nice big house on the right there. And now we've gone from 40 right up to 60 in terms of maximum speed. Although, you know, it's debatable really whether you would do actually 60 along here. You know, it's debatable because of the bends, and you know, you're going downhill into this bend, for instance, so you might just want to control the car with the brake a bit, which, you know, in turn will keep you probably below 60. And then as you climb in the hill, then you're not going to get up to that speed, are you? So it just takes you all the way along here now. All the way to the top of the hill. And at the end it was turn right. Can't understand why it's turned itself off. Here we go. That might work. So we turned right at the end of this road onto here. All the roads will be listed out in the description box below. And then what happened was, so we've got around this next bend, and the examiners asked Manny to pull in and park on the left, which I'm going to do just at this point.
You will arrive at your destination at 15:58.
Just because there's a lay-by here and a cyclist. There's a lay-by here, and it actually looks like it's a bus stop, but it's not. The bus stop is just beyond the lay-by. So if you're asked to pull in and park on the left, this is the safest place for you to do that. And so you're quite safe. It's not a bus stop, and so you can just then again, it was asked to then just pull off, and I'm sure what it was to see if Manny would stop in the lay-by and not stop at the bus stop, which is actually what he did. So that's fine. Manny passed, by the way, so good for him. And now we're coming into the 30 zone. So we're still following the SatNav, and she started to speak to us again now, so that's always good. You can see it's a mini roundabout, and there's a row of parked cars on the left. And so as you're coming into this roundabout, make sure you're looking down the row of parked cars, seeing that it's clear, easing your way through. It's not necessarily going to be clear for you, although we're very lucky today. We can see already the school light is flashing up and down. That means there should be a lollipop lady around here somewhere, unless she's forgotten to turn the light off. Past the school, we're quite lucky today because there hasn't been anything coming the other way. On Friday there was like 6 or 7 cars coming through, and we had to wait there for quite some time. So the point about this, a lot of the time when people are on their lessons and they're using the SatNav, they have it so there's lots of junctions right on top of each other, and the SatNav is telling you to turn this way and that and this way and that. And that's not necessarily how it works on the actual driving test. As we can see, we've been on a lot of kind of long roads, not straight roads, but long roads, and the SatNav hasn't kicked in with any instructions for a little while, and it's still going to be another 3/4 of a mile before she says anything again. You can see that because at the top of the screen it's saying, well, now half a mile there's a roundabout. So as we get closer to it, I'm going to leave her to tell us which way to go. We're on Astley Road, by the way, just to let you know. Astley Road, Ansley Road, Astley. God, there's too too many that sound similar. Ansley Road at the moment, going past the golf club.
After 400 yards, go right on the roundabout, 3rd exit, then turn right. Go right on the roundabout, 3rd exit, then turn right.
And that was it, and this is where he turned the sat-nav off.
After
and he
100 yards, turn right. Then you have reached your destination.
He said you no longer need to follow the sat-nav anymore, and that he would give directions as usual. And that's just where it went. So it went into Astley Road. It went from the test centre, made its way to Astley Road, went round the lanes, and we've ended up on Ansley Road, and then now we're coming back into Nuneaton. So it took us on the kind of lanes really, and a long way around, and on some quick roads. And also, you know, there was a big gap in between where as we were driving, and a big gap in between where she was speaking to us. So we have to bear that in mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this test route off so you can see it. This is a new added test route for 2020, and it's worth a watch. Do keep watching all the other test routes as well, because they're all in there. They're still all in there, and you can still go on any one of them really, I think. Well, I know, actually. So we're just coming round here, and we're coming back down to a 40-mile-an-hour road now, and we're coming back down towards the school. There's a school on the left, I don't know what it's called. I'll tell you in a second. Park Lane. And we can see as we come down this road then now, the speed limit changes from 40 back down to 30, and also he's going to tell you to take the next road on the left, just where this white wall is, just on your left there, into Wycliffe Way. It's quite a tight turn, so make sure you're going, you know, quite a slow speed as you come around here. And as you know, this road then bends around to the left, to the right here. That's better. Okay, so then I'm just trying to clear the windscreen. It seems to go all misty for some reason. Okay, then it was take the next left here into Wenlock Way. Lots of you will know the Wenlock Way because you'll have been brought here to do your practice your hill starts. It's quite a steep hill, so you know, it's a good place to practice that. And then at the end of Wenlock Way then we're going to turn right. This road, again, it'll be in the description at the bottom, but this road is the road where Aldi Aldi is. So the Aldi's on this road, and we have priority at this point as we're going through this bit. And he was asked to pull into Aldi to do some bay parking. So we're not going to do that today, we're just going to drive past, but that's where they went. They turned left into Aldi to do some bay parking. It's not as busy. It was busy earlier in the week, everybody buying up the toilet rolls. You couldn't get in. I suppose they've sold out now, that's why the car park's a bit emptier. Alright, we're going to stay in this this right hand lane now, following the road around into Tompkinson Road. And we know that this road then is a 20-mile-an-hour zone. So we're going to drop the car back into second gear, and that will help to keep the car at 20 or below. We can see why it's 20, because it's quite tight, isn't it, this road? It's quite narrow, and there's cars parked all over the place on it really, mainly down one side. But here we've got cars parked on both sides, and that's okay, isn't it, because there's no lines, and that's just someone parking outside their house. It's a little bit inconvenient for us, but there we go, we just have to deal with that, don't we? So it's quite a long time actually to keep to drive at 20. It doesn't feel quite right. It feels slow. It feels like the car wants to go quicker, and it feels like, you know, the road is clear in front of us, for instance. Now it feels like it'd be quite safe to go quick, and I'm sure it would be, but actually that's the speed limit, so we have to keep to it or just below. And we're doing 19 now. And there is a little bit of a queue of traffic behind us as well, which kind of tells us that, you know, you'll probably be the only one doing 20 on this road. You'll probably be the only one, and everyone will want to go a little bit quicker, and that means you'll have a big space in front of the car and a few bits of traffic behind you as well. So just be kind of aware of that, but don't let that force you into going quicker than you should do. We're going to take the second left here. And actually, by turning left here, it's going to take the pressure off from the people behind us, unless they turn in here as well. Takes us back into Vemons Lane. And Vemons Lane is where the test centre is. So we're on our way back to it now, aren't we? This road, by the way, although there's no speed limit signs, it's still 20, because do you know what? We're on a 20 road, we've not seen a sign that says go back to 30. So what we have to do is assume that this road is still 20, and it is. Just keep it nice and steady as you come through this bit. And there's a roundabout here, and we're going to go straight ahead at the roundabout, and that's the end of this test really. That's where this test route goes. But if you have a look at where the SatNav takes you, then you'll have a kind of heads up really, and you can have a little practice with that with your instructor. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys.